A batsman doesn't simply stand and hit the ball, he takes guard and marks his crease. A bowler doesn't simply run and throw, he's pulling left arm fast over the wicket from the nursery end. We don't call it break 1, break 2 and finish. We call it lunch, then tea, and then stumps. The umpire doesn't scream out or not out. He raises his index finger or shakes his head. And the players, they appeal to the umpire. How is that? Like we're in a court or something. And maybe rightfully so. Because cricket doesn't have rules, it has laws. Then there are a million different field positions. Some are long, some are deep. One is third man, one is fine leg. You might think that's silly and what's the point? Well, those two are real positions too. In Australia, the pitches bounce. In England, the ball swings. In India, the track spins.
What we're gonna do?
Cloud makes batting harder, sun makes it easier, dew changes results. And yet, wicket and pitch have multiple meanings.
And next door to Mr. Srinivasan, Sachin Tendulkar.
Tendulkar is a god. There is a slope at Lord's. Day 3 is a moving day. Melbourne belongs to Boxing Day. And before play begins, someone always rings the bell at Eden's. I love how cricket sounds.
Smile on his face.
And I love it even more when Gavaskar says that one should always play in the VE or that a spinner bowling a no ball is unacceptable. I enjoy Ravi Shastri screaming Namaskar Mumbai at the toss, or that went like a trace of bullet.
Stark will try and swing one back through the gate.
I still get surprised when Ricky Ponting tells us who gets out and why, or when Ian Bishop knows what a backup player did on his second date with his third girlfriend 14 years ago. But actually, Virat, the ball has never hit the stumps. It's a prediction. That's the Nasser Hussain bit when he explains why umpires call exist. I mean, what is cricket but wood hitting leather and 11 men chasing it? But when you call someone the universe boss or the Rawalpindi Express, it becomes larger than life. India wins against Australia after follow on doesn't quite hit as hard as the miracle of Calcutta. England win by the barest of margins adds so much colour to an already spectacular moment. Remember the name, inks Carlos Brathwaite in history books. For Tendulkar, the game always came first. Signs of Sachin. It's this language of cricket that the writers write, commentators call, and fans love. And it's worth everything to me that we examine the words we use. And that essentially is the video. How did cricket's vocabulary reach here? When did it begin to evolve? Why does it sound like literature? Or put in one simple question, the reason you clicked? Why is the language of cricket so beautiful? The answer has 3 parts. The first laws of cricket were written in 1744. 1744 is 282 years ago. That is the entire history of the United States. Or the average Cheteshwar Pujara innings. So yeah, cricket has had a very long time to grow its language. Terms like wicket, innings, over, runs, crease have existed since cricket was a village game. And we still use them today, don't we? But age alone doesn't quite do justice to its language, its depth. Many sports are old, but not all grow to be as complicated as cricket. For instance, think about how much logic goes into a simple LBW, right? Leg before wicket was invented to stop the batsman from forever standing in front of the stumps. If leg before wicket did not exist, then all test matches would be a draw and the game would break. But what actually counts as LBW is what this section is about. First question, where did the ball pitch? If it pitched outside the leg stump, then the leg never came before the wicket did it. So it cannot be LBW, which means the ball must pitch in line or outside off stump for there to be a chance. Second question, where was the impact? If the impact was outside the line, then the batsman didn't block the stump. So again, not LBW. The impact must be in line. Unless the batsman offered no shot. In that case, ladies and gentlemen, the impact doesn't matter because the intention was to block the stumps, and that intention must not go unpunished. And finally, After all that is done, did the ball hit the stumps? If the answer is yes, only then can we logically conclude that the leg was indeed before the wicket. I rest my case, Your Honor. And that is just one mode of dismissal in cricket, a law that took 206 years to reach its final form. If that doesn't scream old and complex, nothing will.
Everybody down at Hampshire. Here comes Gregory then to bowl to Wesley.
It's also interesting to look at how different cricket cultures behave. For example, if an English batsman plays a bad shot, he'll think about his application of technique and where his bat swing went wrong. An Australian in the same situation just curses himself for missing on runs. So, same mistake, two different reactions. English cricket grows up on textbooks and private schools. Australian cricket grows up on playing hard and winning at all costs. So, rules, runs, and conditions aside, it's culture too that adds nuance. Think about how Indians worship their batsmen more, or Pakistan, their fast bowlers. We speak cricket differently because we grew up with cricket differently.
Never did I imagine the euphoria.
But none of that explains why I screamed "Now run" while shadow batting in the parking lot. Yeah, well, thank you, global culture. You know how all your adulthood problems somehow trace back to your childhood? Attachment issues, commitment issues, fear of lifts. Horrible analogy, I know, but in a similar way, the roots of cricket's language lie in its past. There are some defining moments that shape the way you become. For me, it was proof this is a triangle. For cricket, it was newspapers. So early cricket reporting was kinda dry. Australia scores 180, England scores 125, end of day 2. So in a sense, cricket reporting was just that, reporting. People viewed newspapers as a source to get information. And in that serious world, there was no place for the nuances of cricket. What writers of sports needed was a bigger canvas. But what they actually needed was the Industrial Revolution. It made printing cheaper, which meant that daily newspapers and sports-specific newspapers became a common thing. Soon cities grew, literacy rates increased, cars were on the road, planes were in the air, and films were on screen. And in this new speed of the world, how could cricket writers be in the reporting business? They were in the entertainment business. Gone were the days of Australia scores 180, England scores 125, end of day 2, and in came magnificent Australia seizes control over atrocious England after tea. Read all about it on our page 5 exclusive. Once that kind of writing caught on and people responded to it, yeah, well, we have never looked back. The modern world was also about competition. To sell more than the other, newspaper headlines are short, precise, and attention-grabby. Cricket took that too. Hitler dead, Kennedy shot, and hence, Desert Storm. And if with retrospective writing, the Space Age, the Cold War, Bodyline Ashes. Cricket became about storytelling, and every great story needs a hero. Soon the newspapers weren't talking about how many Australia scored, but how many Bradman scored. How masterfully did he play? How many more required to break the record? What must England do to keep him quiet? The other thing that helped cricket writers is that test matches last longer. You can watch an entire football match, but if you're a working man, can you really watch an entire test match? So football was more watched, but cricket became more read, and hence the language became more literary, reflective, and descriptive because it served a reading audience, an educated reading audience at that. More than any other sport, cricket was a newspaper sport. Radios then gave it life with commentary, television gave the visuals, and social media today puts the control back in the hands of the fans. And those are all great additions, necessary even. But it's those old cricket writers that laid the foundation of that media grammar.
Second look. Michael taking off, the patented tongue comes out.
We see this in other sports too. Nickname for players, terms for crazy matches, and wonderful commentary moments are done all across sports. But what makes cricket stand out is how we frame sentences. So far, we have looked at how cricket is old and complex and how newspapers added a layer of storytelling. But here's the thing, you can describe a complex game in simple words. You can tell a story in simple words too. So, why is cricket so extra, so corny, so full of razzmatazz? I mean, no other sport says the player shall now break for tea, or that the captain has declared from the dressing room, or that the team is sending forth a night watchman. The language of cricket is very ceremonial, and that basically is the final part. The tone of cricket. Why?
An ordinary dinner party, the sort of occasion we all enjoy. The men are
So,
exchanging witty
when the British Empire was at its peak, its fancy schmancy people spoke fancy schmancy English.
the conversation turns to more serious matters.
I must beg your pardon for my tardy arrival, but despite my earnest efforts, I was unable to procure a suitable carriage to convey me here in a timely manner. You know what that means? Sorry I'm late, I couldn't find a taxi. I must decline your invitation to venture forth this evening, for I find myself in the most dreadful state of fatigue. I can't go out tonight because I'm tired. This old version of English, spoken by the rich people of England, was called Victorian English. It was formal, elaborate, and carefully worded. And since cricket grew in private schools, country houses, and royal circles, where the language was as such, yeah, well, it kinda spilled over. During the opening exchanges, the batsman applied himself with admirable caution, successfully preserving his wicket against the probing efforts of the bowlers. After 56 overs have been dispatched, Surrey find themselves 158 for 3, and with that, the players shall now adjourn for luncheon. With but 10 minutes remaining until stumps, Lancashire has sent forth their night watchman. His sole duty would be to safeguard his senior partner through the fading light. Ooh, and once these brooding clouds have passed and the light improves, one shall imagine the conditions shall become rather more agreeable for batting. You see what I mean? Cricket has Victorianness. And the complete opposite is true for football. Because football grew in industrial towns, factories, and working class homes. You pass, you shoot, you score. It's kickoff, it's half time, it's full time. You win 2-0, you lose 3-2, you draw 1-1. Simple, fast, and direct. Like common people spoke. Now, I agree that in today's cricketing world, we don't commentate like it's Victorian England, and that different cricket cultures have evolved to forge their own identities. But when we say lunch, tea, declaration, gentleman's game, or spirit of cricket, the Victorian era quietly stays alive. It lingers like a bunch of micro expressions that still nod back to the empire. Now, do I want to get into the fact that England forced this language upon the Commonwealth and how cricket was a means of spreading colonialism and how this language is also colonialism, and me liking it in any shape or form means I'm in some sort of a colonial hangover and or a colonial sympathizer? And the fact that when we call this a gentleman's game, it's a subtle dig at class privilege and how only the elite were allowed to play it, and that spirit of cricket is also some horse shit derived from the same colonial vocabulary.
God save the king!
Nah, I don't want to get into it. You know how on Twitter the Uno company sometimes tries to explain the official rules, but then some guy replies, "Thanks for the card, guys, but we will take it from here." I think that's just it. Cricket is ours. I will call it a supla shot. I will play one tip, one hand. I will be a common and bat for both sides. I will tap my friend's back and ask number. And yes, the wall is 1D, the gate is 2D, and T-Rex 6 is out. You should be aware where the language of cricket comes from, but beyond that, it's yours to speak, yours to interpret, and yours to share. Because language is not about breaking people, it's about connecting them. Kane Williamson has threaded one through extra cover for a 4. Or did he place it, stroke it, Did he ease it into the gap? I don't think he smoked it or creamed it, guys. It was just a flow. The quietest of timings. A measured push, if you may. A graceful whisper of the bat. It's a 4 at the end. A boundary. The scoreboard offers facts. The wagon wheel draws shapes. But it is language that gives cricket its color. And if you give certain words enough time, they become mythology.